Hello, welcome to the Musketeers. Today's episode is Who is Darth Gator's Apprentice? I am your host, American Celt. With me, as always, is my sister, Terrasin.
Fuck you.
Oh, it's because I thought you told me that because I used your name this time.
No,
Instead of, Darth Gator.
it's still fuck you.
And with me today is my Yankee friend, Scooby.
Hey, hey.
And Burnside, who's currently MIA.
Burnside's more of a Yankee than I am. I'm a Met.
What's a Met?
The Metropolitans, the other baseball team in Queens, other than the Yankees. There's the Yankees and the Mets.
Don't know much about New York.
There's also the Jets,
which is the football team.
And apparently Al Qaeda's favorite team.
When I was a kid, for years I was a Jets fan. And then they hired Michael Vick, the dog killer. And I think I told you I had to give my nephew all my Jets memorabilia because I have rescue dogs. I won't support any team that has a dog killer on their roster. And they had him on for a few years. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm a guy without a team when it comes to football. And didn't really hurt that much when the NFL went to shit with all them kneeling. So I don't watch football anymore. But yeah, the Mets are that's the baseball team. And we have two basketball teams again. We had only one for years, and because the Nets went to Jersey, and now we have the Nets again. They're back in Brooklyn. They were originally in Nassau, but now they're in Brooklyn. So, yeah, in a nutshell, there's your New York sports.
Oh, have you heard the latest controversy with Trump?
Well, what happened?
They're going on about how he said that when those powered windmills cause cancer. And I saw the small clip that they're citing, and here's his quote. And they say that windmills cause cancer. That's his quote. Yeah. He was talking about a joke, but they're saying that they're taking him literally.
Yeah. I think he's actually referring to the motors. From what I understand, they're like electromagnets or something. That's how it works. You know, the thing spins around and it charges up electromagnets.
Yeah, it's a generator, wind power.
Yeah. From what I understand, too much electromagnetic radiation does cause cancer. So my guess is I don't know how thick the insulation is on those things, but I'm guessing proximity to them must not be good. But they're also 1,000 feet high.
But I've also heard people say like how loud they are.
Yeah.
But I've seen videos of people sitting right next to it with with something that measures decibels, and it registers almost nothing.
Yeah.
But for all I know, they could be like something ultrasound or infrasound that you can't pick up.
What could also be is it could be misleading. They're standing right next to the thing. The sound might not be noticeable until you're like a mile away, because of how big those things are.
Yeah.
When you're right there, you might not notice it, but when you're driving away, all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, what the hell is that noise? It could just be because of how high up it is. When you're that close to it, you don't notice the noise. It is a possibility.
Yeah. Well, the ultrasound or infrasound argument seems more likely.
Yeah. No, I'm saying there's a few different things. I mean, sound travels in a wave, and if the sound waves are only going in one direction, and that direction is straight ahead, and you're underneath this thing by a few hundred feet, you're not going to hear it if the sound isn't traveling.
I don't think that's how sound works. I mean, yeah, it works. It moves in a wave, but it's omnidirectional.
Right,
it'll be more focused in one direction.
Right, that's what I'm saying. More of the focus. I'm sure there's obviously going to be spillage of the noise, but I'm saying how much. Like that's the thing. I don't know how the acoustics. I guess the audio dynamics, for lack of a better term. It's been years since I've actually had to sit here and think of the term. I don't know how they'd work. I don't know anything about the physics of it. You see. So for all I know, the sound could actually be getting thrown like 95 or more percent of it could be getting thrown forward with the, or rather backwards with the wind as it's getting pulled across the blades. I don't know.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm so quiet. I'm shilling.
That's okay. It's okay. We were actually getting in depth on how the hell these things are so loud, but no one notices.
There's actually something I want to talk about once I get done shilling.
Sure.
I posted it in a reptile group.
All right.
So continue talking. I'm just letting you know.
Oh, all right. I thought you were getting to your point. That's why.
No, I'll be interrupting you to talk about it.
Oh, okay. I basically got to my point that unless I have a schematic chart in front of me, I can't say for certain how much sound would actually travel downwards. But I think that the lion's share of it was probably traveling either forward or backward, depending on the motion of the blades, for lack of a better term. So I have no idea. Again, like I said, it's who the hell knows? Plus, also, you got to think, where are they setting up these wind farms? They're usually in the middle of the country. Barometric pressure is probably much lower because there's not as much humidity. There's a lot of elements to the equation. Plus, also, I mean, let's say if they're in a canyon, then you're going to have blowback from the canyon walls. If they're a little bit away, if there's mountains in the way, I mean, depending how far the sound travels.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it's near a forest, the forest is actually going to absorb a lot of the sound itself, and it's actually going to help to transmit it in certain, there's a lot of different things that can affect these things. When you got windmills that friggin' big. You sound just lovely there.
All right, so I have shilled on mine.
Mm-hmm.
I have shilled on Gab. I have shilled on Facebook.
Oh, very cool. Got some really serious shillage going down. Nice. All right, so the title of the show. So, let me ask you, who is your apprentice? You gotta have.
That'd be Burnside. Trump?
No, no. Burnside's my bottom.
Let me think. Do you have an apprentice? That is the question.
Regrettably, I'm still hacking this shit up.
I noticed.
Yeah, we noticed very much so.
I'd ask you if you were okay, but it's a moot point.
All right, so if you guys want to actually read the articles for yourselves, go to my server, go to the Daily Planet. It's the last thing on there. All right. So, I've posted in a reptile server about it. So I'm hoping people will show up to come and watch, because right now it says only one person watching, and we got a downvote. Thank you for the interaction, asshole.
When it tells you who's watching, does that include the host?
I don't think it does.
Okay, what?
I don't think it does.
Okay.
All right.
We got an upvote. Or is that you?
That was me.
Well, I never actually upvote or downvote anything. So
I usually don't, except for our shows or, people I actually know. All right, so this is from Vice. And this I am really not surprised about, but yet I'm surprised at the same time. Komodo Island is closing because people keep stealing its dragons. Tourists will be banned from visiting the Indonesian island as of January 2020. The Indonesian government has announced it will close the island of Komodo to tourists next year in a bid to prevent people from stealing its dragons. In a meeting with the Ministry of Environment and Forestry last week, Provincial Administration spokesman Marius declared that Komodo Island will be shut down temporarily in January 2020. The closure is expected to stay in place for at least 12 months. The decision comes just days after East Java police busted a smuggling ring that took 41 Komodo dragons and tried to sell them on the international black market for 500 million rupiah. That's about 50,000 Australian cash.
So like 250 American. All right.
A piece. Senior Commander Ahmed Yusuf Gawan, Special Crimes Unit head of the East Java Police, said 5 baby Komodos had also been rescued from the group of alleged animal traffickers. The criminals intend to ship the animals to 3 countries in Southeast Asia through Singapore, Yusuf told reporters. All right. First of all, my question is why? Because one of these things bites you and you get away. Regardless, you're either losing that leg or you're going to die.
Mm-hmm.
And, they will track you down for miles and days.
I got 3 words for you. Tide, pod, challenge. Same people. Human beings do dumb shit. These stupid bastards take these things and think that they can tame them like they're a puppy.
How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they'll learn. Like you said, they're going to lose a finger, and next thing you know, they're going to be walking around with a fever with their fingers missing and shit, and they're going to be dead in a week because they get bit by those things. They got that bacteria. Plus, they have a lot of people. They didn't find this out until like 5 years ago. These things
they have
actually
a neurotoxin.
Yeah, they're venomous. I was just going to say that. The people didn't realize it until they looked.
Well, it's not just a neurotoxin. They have all sorts of bacteria in their mouth because they don't eat fresh food.
Well,
yeah, they have a combination. Yeah.
Well, they bite it, they let it die, then they let it rot.
Yeah.
Then they eat it. So their bacteria is created due to the rotted meat.
Yeah.
I've seen them start eating the animal, not even before it's dead. It's just no longer. It's too sick to move. They start eating it then.
Yeah, no, they'll eat it while it's alive. They eat it when it's dead, when it's fresh, when it's rotten. They eat anything. And the other thing about it is, like you said, they have that bacteria in their mouth from eating all that crap. That
actually causes gangrene.
Yeah.
Only it's like an accelerated gangrene.
Yeah, the other thing that they have going on is they got all that digestive crap, and they have that bacteria in their stomach too. So.
And they're constantly salivating.
Yeah.
That saliva, oh my God, it's almost corrosive.
Yeah. They're toxic, these things.
Indonesian authorities further arrested 5 smugglers on Java for allegedly trafficking Komodo dragons along with bear cats, cockatoos, and cassowaries. The suspect sold the Komodos online through Facebook. East Java Police said in a statement, while Commissioner Rapito told Channel News Asia that they were usually smuggled overseas to Asian buyers. These animals are sold for traditional medicine. Komodo dragons could be used to make an antibiotic. Now, I could see where it could be used to make an antibiotic. They've been trying for years to create like a anti-serum for the Komodo dragon bites, but they can't because it's constantly changing.
Yeah, because bacteria and viruses, they evolve so quickly. By the time they have a batch that's configured, it's evolved past being able to be used.
Exactly. Considered to be the world's largest lizard, Komodo dragons are one of the most endangered species on the planet. The UNESCO World Heritage Komodo National Park in East Nusa Tenggara is the only place where the reptiles can be seen in their natural habitat. While the remainder of the park will stay open to visitors throughout 2020, authorities are closing the gates on Komodo in the hope of launching a conservation program and bolstering the local dragon population. There are currently about 5,700 Komodos spread throughout the park. Their numbers have gone down drastically.
Yeah, because they all got stolen. I guarantee you, if you go to Australia, that's where you're going to find most of them. Those crazy Aussies are probably walking them around on leashes.
All right. So the Sri Lankan government is advertising job positions for hangmen.
Hey, Tara, before you go on, Scooby, those
What's
crazy odds you're talking about, you think his own walks up to this guy with his Komodo and says, does he bite?
Huh.
Personally,
Yeah.
I tell him no, and he loves to be petted around the mouth.
That's cruel.
He loves to be kissed on the mouth.
There we go. Don't mind me. I'm just doing a few odds and ends here. So, what have you guys been doing? Anything fun?
No.
Not a damn thing. Where's Burnside?
Did he fall out?
Again? He's probably driving or something.
Probably hacking up his lungs.
No, it seems to be driving.
What was I going to say to you guys? So, I got to get... I'm probably not going to stay in too long. Hey, mechanic.
Hey, how goes it?
It goes. It's all that matters. Yeah, your timing's perfect, actually. I was just saying, I got to get up tomorrow after I take her to her work. I got to go to the library and I got to print out this ad from eBay. And then after I do that, I got to go to the post office and I have to go to the police precinct because I had cut a video and put it up earlier. I ordered 2 flags off of eBay. I grabbed them right after we got done doing the birthday stream. I was going to sleep and I just snagged them. And I look the next morning while I was having coffee, I'm reading over the ad and I'm like, oh shit, I'm looking at all the reviews and they got all these like downvotes. And I'm like, what? They look fine in the pictures. And then I was reading and it's like everyone's saying counterfeit flag, counterfeit flag, counterfeit flag. I'm like, oh shit, they're counterfeit American flags. And what it turns out is the communists over in California back in 2016, they got raided. It was either 10,000 or 100,000. I looked at it quickly, but they had, let's say it was 10,000. They had 10,000 American flags on pallets in a warehouse in California that were counterfeit. And this apparently looks like it's the same company again. So
what makes them counterfeit exactly?
They are literally modeled after this company's design, which is it's the flag company that makes flags for the United States government. They're called Annan. They were originally in New York City, but now they're over in Jersey. And they make flags if they fly on every military base, every military ship, every school, every library, every government building, like every courthouse. Those are all Annan. If you've ever been to a sporting event or a stadium or anything of that nature, those are Valley Forge. That's how they split it. Everything that's official government, like museums and government buildings and things of that nature, is Annan. Everything that's like stadiums and racetracks, that's Valley Forge. That's actually how it's split between the two. And
So who made the flag for my dad's trifold?
That would actually be, that's a subsidiary of Annan. I believe the name of that flag company is Duraweave.
Okay.
Yeah. I kind of have a thing about American flags. Burnside could tell you if he was back here. No, I'm really thorough on them.
I'd call it a fetish.
I guess you could call it a fetish if you want. I don't get off on them.
Scoob, I'm being an asshole.
No, it's all right. No, I was gonna say it's actually more of like a religious thing with me.
It really is.
Yeah, Tara knows. I'm like actually kind of religious about the flag and the Constitution. It's just how I look at it.
I know, Scoob. I just had to poke at you. It was too tempting.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Besides, for the two people in the audience, I figured to school them. They
Don't
might
have a
not
false
be.
prophet. You have a false flag.
Yeah, basically, yeah, it is. I have a false flag, exactly. And it was actually they advertise it as being an Annan Nile Glow flag. So it's false it's false advertising, and it's not a real product. They're claiming it's an Annan flag that's made in America when it's made in China, and it's just commie garbage. So
Is it a crusade? Is it a revolution?
the other thing is, was really confusing. I ordered it off of eBay, but it came in an Amazon bag with Amazon paperwork. So
that's because that's where the person ordered it from.
Ah, cute. But they gave me the return slip for Amazon. Oh, I get it. I returned it to them, and they returned it to Amazon. I got it. Cute. Unfucking real. That's fine. So that's even more good. That's like fraud then. That's good. Fuck these people. Like seriously, I got a thing about that. Like now look, don't let me let me make this clear. We have a thing that we got going on here. You can go into Chinatown and you can get anything, but the Chinese people up in Chinatown know not to crank out any counterfeit American flags. That's one of the only things you're not going to be able to get in Chinatown that's counterfeit. You can get anything else you want up there that's counterfeit. Seriously, I go usually up to Jamaica Avenue to get all my my Nikes. They're all made in Chinatown. You literally got to sit there with like a magnifying glass to tell the difference. I don't fucking care. Get a pair of Nikes for $30. These are knockoffs. How much did you pay for yours? Oh, I paid $200. Don't you feel good about yourself?
You telling them about them commie bastards?
I love the way you say that, Scoop. Don't you feel good about yourself?
Seriously, like I never understood that. My father always said, he said, you show me any man that has to buy everything name brand. He's like, and I'm going to show you a putz without two nickels to rub together.
The only reason I buy my boots name brand is because I go to an Army surplus store.
Yeah. Oh no, that's where we shopped when I was a kid. Was I'll never forget Bell, Army, and Navy. They used to be up over on First, and the old man insisted that we go there. And like when I was a kid, that's all I used to wear was like
combat boots.
Yeah, like old surplus military shit because I was such a big kid anyway. I was just wearing like the small adult shit. And yeah, combat boots and BDUs. That's all the old man used to grab for me. And my mother always used to say, why are you always buying him that shit? My father used to say without missing a beat, he's a young boy. They like to dress as soldiers anyway. Camouflage is in style and it's cheap.
Fuck yeah.
Speaking of Army surplus, I have a U.S. Army jacket. I think it was from the Korean War.
Mm-hmm.
It has a combat drop badge and a Screaming Eagles badge on the shoulder.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah. And I was when I was in college, the dorm manager had to look over. He's a Vietnam War veteran, and he's the one who told me that was a combat drop badge on it.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I can't stand
I can show it to you after the stream.
Cool. Definitely. Thanks. I want to see
I've also got a U.S. Army trench coat used for the bikers. The date on it is 1946.
Nice.
That's when they were doing the mail courier service. They would use they would use that for the mail on base. It was the fastest way to get it from the different encampments of the troops. They would just use the saddlebags, and they would just go flying across the base, and they'd pull into each section. And, mail call, and you run up, you grab your mail, and the guy would putter away to the next section.
Yeah, I also have the inner line, but it's never been cold enough for me to rip that out.
I got a couple of trench coats myself. That's all I used to wear back in the day.
Of course, in New York.
I still wear trench coats.
Mm-hmm.
You carry a sword too?
No, just easy to hide shit.
No, I was talking about Scooby because it's New York.
Oh.
Yeah, definitely. I'm constantly walking the streets late at night looking for the Kurgan.
Kurgan.
Oh, when Miss Allie actually puts up the video when she's finished editing it, you're actually going to see where that battle took place. People were like honking their horns and flipping me off because I basically slowed down so I could show her the roof of Silver Cup Studios. People are flipping me off and screaming shit like, "Go the fuck back to Jersey, asshole!"
That's funny as fuck.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of like telling a white man to go back to Europe.
No,
Yeah.
that's like what this little old lady in this Prius did to me the other day. She was from Dallas.
Oh,
Mind you,
Christ.
I'm in a half-ton pickup truck, and she just speeds by me and flips me off. I'm in third gear, the hill climbing gear. I've got a V8. She's got a little fucking electric gas engine. She flips me off and hits her horn. I mean, just says, meet me. Oh, God. And I recently installed a fucking truck horn on the top of my truck.
Dude, get a
Nice.
foghorn.
Yeah. So, oh, yeah, it's great. I use it when people piss me off. So I get up behind this lady and just fucking blast this horn. She fucking trips out. She just fucking tripped out. She hung her head out the window and flipped me off again. I said, "Go back to Dallas, lady." Flipped her off.
I don't know if you guys know about the drivers in New Jersey. The thing is, in that state, I tell this to people all the time, you're not allowed to make left turns in Jersey, and every way is a one-way.
No.
So, yeah. So
Never
they actually,
going there.
yeah, they actually have what they call over there jug handles. And what the jug handle is, it's literally an extra area of road that they put in case you miss your turn so you can turn around. Yeah.
Never going to Jersey.
Yeah. So
I hate one-way streets.
yeah. And so that's part of the reason a lot of New Yorkers, the default thing that they yell at people if they don't know how to drive is "Go back to Jersey, asshole." Or you'll hear a lot of people when you're out on Long Island, you hear a lot of people say, go the fuck back to Connecticut, because you have a lot of people that come over here with the ferry, and
Go back to
they think that they're in Miami. They think that because the speed limit in Miami is 20. So everyone up here, people from Connecticut do not know how to drive. It's not that they don't know how to drive. It's the type of person where, they induce road rage. You ever get behind that person and they're doing 20 and hands at 10 and 2 and they're just annoyingly milquetoast? That's Connecticut drivers. They're the ones you go to pass them and they just casually get in front of you right when you're about to pass them, and you have to slow down by like 20 miles an hour because they're just going to get in front of you and they're casually going to go at speed. And the minute the light turns yellow, they slam on the brakes and you got to sit through that light because they're in front of you.
Yeah, this is
I
why I
hate
installed
fucking
the truck
that shit.
horn. This is why I installed the truck horn. For people like that.
They will not do it. That's why people hate Connecticut drivers. You do that to a normal person, they get out of your way, right? Nope, not people from Connecticut. They ignore you. They completely ignore other drivers. It's amazing. I've seen people like lose their marbles, New Yorkers, when they pull up next to somebody from Connecticut, like they've been sitting there behind them honking the horn and they're flipping them off and everything. They pull up next to the guy and they're yelling and screaming, and the guy from Connecticut's completely ignoring them, does not even look at them. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
they must seal their car and soundproof it.
Good
It
lord.
sounds like they must completely soundproof the cars. It sounds like.
Possibly. I mean, they're driving through New York all the time, so I'm just guessing. I mean,
Honestly, I would probably zip around, get in front of them, and slow down to 10 miles an hour and just block them.
Ah! Troll the troll.
Yeah, troll the troll.
Yep.
I'm that kind of person. Troll the troll.
it's funny because we're actually known for having the worst drivers in the country out here, too.
No way. I thought we were number.
I think it's because I don't know what it is with Chicago. I don't think it's that you have the worst drivers. I think what it is you guys and Michigan, you have such an influx of Canadians.
Scoop.
Like, yeah.
Burns.
Ins?
I'm going to pay for a ticket for you guys to come down here when there are icy roads. And I bet you that our drivers are worse.
Oh, I probably will agree with you on that.
I will
Texas
take
with
you up
icy.
on that offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta get me a ticket too.
Yeah, I'll pay for your ticket too. Because frankly, people do not know how to drive on ice here. 2 years ago, it iced over for 3 days. In those 3 days, myself alone, I witnessed 23 car collisions.
Ah! That's funny.
That'll do it to it.
And 3 of those were pileups. Like, not serious pileups. Like, one guy would stop at a light, and the next 12 people behind him would just kiss bumpers, like just boom, 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 all the way back.
Oh my god.
It was so funny. It was just like, oh my god.
I'm going to have to. Sorry.
Do you not know how to drive on ice? The 2-second rule does not apply. It's more like the 10-second rule.
15, man. Fuck the 10-second. 10-second bullshit.
Actually, it's more like 20 seconds because you look at any road sign in Texas and you add 15. Because
Sounds about right.
Because it's seriously, if you go into a apartment complex parking lot, the speed limit sign says 5 miles an hour. You will see people sailing through the apartment complex at like 20, 25 miles an hour. It's funny.
What's the average highway speed people do in the morning by you guys?
Average, probably 80 or 90.
Okay. So it's the same as, but how heavy is the traffic?
Generally in town, well, right now, I'd say the average speed in town is more like 10 miles an hour because they're doing a ton of construction. Outside of town, the traffic isn't all that heavy because it gets all spread out, and 80, 85 is the average speed. But in town, it just piles up.
Because I want to.
They're fucking widening the roads. They're adding 2 extra lanes on either side.
We got 3 lanes in one direction and 3 lanes the other. That's just for the regular highway. I'm gonna film it tomorrow after I drop my wife. I'm gonna film it if I can remember on the way back. Because when I have to drive on the way back, Usually I gotta keep it around 80. That's just so, you know, the people that are on the highway don't run me off the road. That's literally staying with the flow of traffic because there's a guy right behind me at this, you know, I mean, I've gone, you go on that highway and you do like, if you do 55, you might as well just stay on the service road because if you try to do the speed limit in rush hour, they're going to actually aim at you.
Well, I mean, the highway speed is 70 miles an hour. So if you want to go 70, go find a fucking semi truck and tag him.
Yeah. Well, the speed limit is 55, and most people usually do between 85 and 95, depending.
But if you want to go like 90, 95, go find some sucker bait with two people behind him going 90, 95, tag behind those guys, and I guarantee you, you'll have a good three cops before they get to you.
Yeah.
And when the guy in front of you gets pulled over, slow down to 70, wait for the next sucker butt.
Like I definitely got to show this to you guys then because they actually drive in rush hour traffic like bumper to bumper. Everyone's doing like 80, 90 miles an hour in bumper to bumper traffic.
I have to see this.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was getting at. Like I didn't realize it till I was talking to you guys how weird this must look to people. Like just it's a whole wall of traffic moving at top speed.
Down here at rush hour, it just stops.
No, rush hour around here, you're going to see because there's no lights in this stretch of highway. So everyone is doing top speed and it's a wall of traffic. There's just, I go every morning amongst hundreds, if not possibly, depending the distance, thousands of cars.
Yeah.
And everyone's doing 90.
Well, I mean, since they're widening the roads, that's probably why it just stops, grinds to a halt.
Like, if you could picture, like, you ever see when they show the traffic in LA, the bumper-to-bumper traffic on the freeways?
Yeah.
Watch that and fast forward. That's what it looks like in the morning when I drive.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to film this tomorrow now. I'm so glad. Like, seriously, I don't think people realize it because I think I've had people like before who have come to visit and they've driven with me in that traffic. Like, I remember Sweeper Steve, it blew his mind. He's like, holy shit. He's like, I've never seen this many cars moving this fast, like, you know, in such a small area so quickly. I said, yeah, this is just typical how the traffic moves.
I'd probably just plug in my phone and put some kind of rock song on and crank up the radio.
Yeah. Because
faster.
Because Sweeper's from Jersey, so he's used to Jersey traffic. It's a little different. I mean, Jersey, they drive fast, but they're not as compacted together. This is like sardines in a can.
I hate sardines.
Yeah. Like, you got 3 lanes, and if you're lucky, you can move around. You know, like me, I look for those opportunities, and, you know, I'll try to take them. But once you get past a certain exit, you can't move. And you hope that you get into the lane that's going fast, and the fast lane, yeah, everyone's doing 80 or 90. The middle lane, everyone's usually doing about 70, and the far lane, all the way over, people usually doing about 65.
You know what, Scoop? I'm gonna send my mother straight up to you
and
take her through the fast lane in rush hour traffic, and please film her. Film her. I want to see her flip out.
Oh, that ought to be fucking hysterical. Oh, you're gonna kill the poor woman.
Give her a fucking heart attack. No, seriously, every morning I get a phone call. She jumps on her fucking menstrual cycle and goes, rack, 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 beach, and she runs me over.
Oh, damn. It reminds me of the Jeff Dunham bit.
Yeah, that's where I got it.
You know, I'll be honest with you. My favorite thing when I was a kid was actually working in Manhattan and working in like Brooklyn and Queens just for driving. Just seriously.
Had to be nuts.
Oh my God. When you're driving through, like, you got to realize when you're going on some of these bridges, you're going with the flow of traffic. So you're going around the turn like my wife's sitting there, and because my wife is a true New York Democrat. She does not like the fact that the traffic moves fast. She wants the traffic to move at the pace she wants it. So she bitches and complains the whole time. And poor Allie, she was like turning her knuckles were turning like bone white because you're going. We were going around to get onto the 59th Street Bridge, and it's actually like going around a spiral staircase to get on this thing, and it's in a car, by the way. So picture that in your head for a split second. That you got to go looping around like on a spiral staircase to get on this bridge in a car, and keep in mind also that the flow of traffic is looping this spiral staircase at about 70. So you're going up a couple of stories, like climb a spiral staircase at about 70 miles an hour, and all you hear is like from all the cars because they're all turning this way. And my wife's like, slow down. And I'm like, if I slow down, we die. Because the guy behind us hits us, and the guy behind him hits him.
If I slow down, we die.
Yeah. Like, she doesn't understand. Like, she basically was the reason we left, because she started flipping out. She's like, I want to go home. I can't stand this shit. I can't stand this fucking island. I said, this is why I don't come here. But, you go in Manhattan, it's the same thing. When you're driving, you got to go with the flow of traffic. So you have to speed. Like, there were times, I thank God, because, we were in her lease. I thank God no one hit into us, because there's been times where I was in my own car when you're in a hoopty, and the taxis are just they're going to hit you. Like, you're just going to get tagged by them. You'll be driving in traffic and all you hear is bang, and it's because you just sideswiped a cab.
Balls, dude.
Yeah, the guy that used to live around the corner from us, my brother used to refer to this guy's IROC as the Tiger, because this thing had so much yellow paint on it. It looked like it was paint. It looked like it was a tiger stripe car, because he used to purpose.
I'd be chasing that fucking cab down.
Well, this is the thing. You see, the cabs don't usually hit you. New Yorkers tend to hit the cabs. Like, I can't tell you how many.
New York.
Yeah.
You do not hit cab. Cab hits you. Or wait, I think that is the other way around. Let me try and drive again. Clunk.
Basically, you get that a lot where you're in the city and you smack into the cabs because they're in your way. Like, it was a common place. Like, there was a lot of times when I had like certain cars that I was driving in, and people like, I'd have like a girl in the car, and she'd feel it. It's like, oh my God, you got hit. I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it. It was probably a cab.
Don't worry about it. It was probably a cab.
Flash wound. Just a sub.
Well, no, that's why you buy, back in the day, you'd buy a hoopty, specifically because you knew you were going to get tapped by a taxi. It was bound to happen. The thing you do is you made sure you buy something that was either like black, gray, or navy blue. That way, like the color didn't really matter. All right, come on, go ahead. Go outside. There you go, guys. Go have fun.
That's fucking hysterical.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I definitely, like I said, when you guys come out to visit, I'll take a ride with you into Manhattan. You can see how it is firsthand. You'll have fun.
I'm already having fun. You'll probably feel me laughing.
Oh, it'll be awesome as fuck, man. I'll be like, awesome, this is better than trying to cut up to the fucking north side for Chinatown.
Oh, yeah, especially if I have my car back on the road by then, because it's a little Ford Aspire.
Mm-hmm.
I have so much fun driving that little thing. Like, I have my boy, Moose. He's doing 12 years upstate right now, but he was home. Last time he was home, Moose was with me in this thing, and Moose is a little bit bigger than me. I'm 6'2". Moose is about 6'4".
Oh,
and yeah, we're driving in this thing, and he had a heart attack because I whipped this car in between two 18-wheelers, and they're both going in like two different directions. And I crossed the street because the light had changed, and I had it, and they had both started going, and he starts panicking. I went.
Chevy Chase is loose in New York.
Right.
Hi, Estelle.
Chevy Chase is loose in New York. That's funny.
Yeah. So I made it in between the two trucks, and I look over at him, and he's sheet white. I'm like, you gotta relax, bro. This car's got it.
Now I'm gonna shoehorn you into a friggin' Prius, Scoob, and take a picture of that.
God.
I was looking at them at one point as an alternative.
Oh, Not the
No.
Prius.
When I found out how bad the batteries are for the environment.
Oh yeah, I just
Yeah.
want to shoehorn you into a Prius just to see how
I
funny
like
it
the
would look.
Prius for the irony.
There's
I-
nothing environmental or friendly about a Prius.
When they first came out with the Insight, I was in college at the time. And I went to the dealership, to the Honda dealership, to look at the Insight. And the salesman took one look at me. He's like, "How tall are you?" I go, "I'm 6'2". He's like, "Not to get too personal, but how much do you weigh?" And at the time, I was still lifting weights. So I said, "I don't know, about 250, maybe 260. He goes, "Yeah." He's like, "Look, son, you're way too big for this car." I go, "Really?" He's like, "The ceiling for this car," he said, "is 5'8". He's like, "That's how big the driver can be." He said, "And we shoot for a driver that's about 165 pounds." He's like, he's like, "You're about a half a foot too tall." He's like, "And you got about 100 pounds too heavy to drive this thing." I said, "You kidding me?" He said, "No." He's like, "It's a gimmick." And at the time, this was the one that was the two-seater, the original Insight. They bought up, I guess, their entire inventory and used them in the Cat in the Hat movie. That's the car everyone was driving around in. But yeah, I went to look at the thing, and the guy even told me, he's like, "No, you can't physically fit in this car. It's not possible. You can't drive it." I said, "Oh, that sucks."
Trust me, with enough force you can fit in.
With enough butter.
Probably.
Let me go get a 2x4 for some
Yeah.
leverage.
Yeah, use it like a shoehorn. But-
Exactly, shoehorn.
Yeah. But I've always been very, not so much left leaning, but I've always been very green leaning. And so when I heard, oh, okay, an environmentally friendly hybrid, I would love to drive one of those. And when I looked at the thing, and I got disappointed. But then a few years later, when Honda and they reintroduced the Insight, and then they were competing directly with the Prius, I was looking into it, and that's when I started seeing all these things about how they're the most toxic cars ever created because no one can get rid of these batteries once they're used up. And I said, "Oh, hell no, I'm not interested in that then."
I hate the Prius. I want to
Yeah.
run over every single Prius with my truck. Just use them as a speed bump.
There was one thing I did like the Prius was the irony that some of them had solar powered air conditioning. They pretty much used the sun to cool you off.
Yeah. That's funny, actually.
Oh, speaking of solar power, so y'all might find this funny. So I was driving last week, and the physics department over at UNT their students are always building all kinds of crazy things. So I'm driving down Teasley, and I'm going about 35 miles an hour. And I see this shiny thing just zip by me. I mean, this thing just went shoo. I didn't hear any engine noise whatsoever. And I'm wondering, what the fuck is that thing? So I downshift and I catch up with this thing. And lo and behold, it's this. Now, mind you, this thing is like, 4 or 5 feet high. And there's this dude sitting in a racing helmet, and this thing is covered in solar panels.
Oh my god, that's so retarded.
And this dude is going like 45 miles an hour down Teasley Lane. And I'm like, holy shit. I mean, he is booking it.
I guess that makes him an eco racer.
That actually sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was really cool. I mean, he just booked it. I mean, I didn't hear any engine noise whatsoever. I didn't even hear his fucking electric motors. I mean, he just went. Whoo. All I saw was the sun shining off his solar panels, and he was just gone.
Interesting.
It was so cool. I caught up with him, and I was like, and I'm looking at this thing, on my left side. I'm like, holy shit!
And it's like, what the flying fuck?
Go ahead, man. Just take it. There you go. Good boy. Take your thing. Give him the dog snacks. He's jumping all over my lap.
Oh,
Yep.
a puppy.
The puppy wants attention. He's trying to drag Daddy to bed because he knows Daddy has to get up at 5.
Oh,
Yeah, he's my
good
alarm
one
clock.
for you, huh?
Yeah, he's trying to be a good pooch and he's trying to look out for me.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's
That solar car was absolutely hilarious.
next time you see it, you definitely got to get a picture. I'm dying to see this thing.
Yeah, when I head over to UNT, I'll get a picture of it.
It sounds like a teepee on wheels. I'm picturing something like all these solar panels like set up in a teepee design with this guy's head poking out up over the top.
Well, it was more like a ramp. It looked more like a ramp.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was, a ramp and then just a sheer drop off at the back. Like a 55-degree drop off on the back with solar panels all over the place.
Interesting.
It was fucking cool.
So it basically had like this rolling wedge look to it.
Yeah, basically.
That's so awesome. I can imagine a couple of guys walking around, especially some hippies blown out of their shorts, like, yo, you just see that silver wedge of cheese go flying down the highway, man?
Silver wedge of cheese.
Yeah, when I next get over to UNT, I'll get a picture for you.
Cool.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Yeah, that sounds really awesome.
That was probably the coolest and the most hilarious thing I've seen in a long time in this town. I can't believe this thing was going 45 miles an hour though, because when I caught up to it, I was looking at my speedometer. I'm like, holy shit!
I guess they finally mastered the way of making it actually pick up. Because I remember when they were first working on all those like solely electric engines, they were like really shitty and stuff.
Well, I mean, the physics department over at UNT, most of the students there are exceedingly creative, and not only do they have a particle accelerator to play with, they also have they got a particle accelerator to play with. It's freaking awesome. Yeah, they can smash atoms.
It's awesome as fuck.
Yeah, but they also have access to the engineering department, and the engineering department is just fully loaded. They can make anything. I mean, literally, if they wanted to, they could build one of those electric motors from scratch, which is probably what they did.
You remember when they first came out with the hang gliders a few years ago with where you could sit down in the thing and it has like a little self-start motor, so basically the thing could like launch and it would turn into a hang glider afterwards. The motor would stop once it was launched.
Yes, but took all the fun out of it.
They started testing those out by me when I was a teenager. And I remember the first few times because they were testing them out over on Fox and Grass Island. And we're coming through the cut, and I remember it scared the bejesus out of us because all of a sudden we're sitting there and this fucking thing would swoop over you, and you're like, what the fuck is that? You didn't realize it's a guy sitting in a hang glider. It looks like a giant bird at first.
Giant.
No, because, you're sitting there, and then all of a sudden, like, you don't, because it's got this little motor, but it's up in the air at that point, so the motor is cut, so it's making no noise. And you're sitting there, and all of a sudden, you got this silhouette of wings, and like you're in this giant shadow, and you look up, and for a split second, when you look up, it looks like a fucking condor because of the way the thing is shaped. then the minute like when your eyes focus, you see somebody sitting there, and it's like a machine. But for a split second, you look up, and all you see are these wings. You're like, holy shit! Because it's like you don't expect to see a fucking hang glider just in the middle of the bay.
Thanks.
Personally, I'd put a rocket motor on it just to make it more interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Blast off.
You guys might as well do your own version of Mythbusters. Jesus, you guys like shit to explode.
Oh, we just like to do cool shit. That's mainly what it is.
I just like to take shit to the next level.
Mythbusters is like, we're going to find out how well condoms work, given the situation. Because apparently that's all you people fucking do nowadays, is play with condoms. Yeah. Us, we're just like, nah, let's just fucking have fun. Let's push science to its limits and have a few beers.
Speaking of Mythbusters, one of my favorite myths they busted was the hydrogen-powered car. They busted that myth, and then they went on, and this was a car with a carburetor. They unscrewed the carburetor, and they just injected hydrogen right into it, and the car was actually running. I mean, they just fucking, and there was flame spitting right out of the back. Not exactly a controlled reaction, but it was so cool.
I got a friend, and I showed his picture to a few people. Burnside seen his picture. I got this buddy named Bane, and Bane is enormous. He's close to 8 foot tall easily. And they got that series that they got. I forget what channel it's on. But I swore, like, the one woman that they have on that show, she looks like that meme that they have, the pissed off person. But anyway, it's that show Finding Bigfoot.
Oh, Lord.
I
Dressed
really,
him in a Bigfoot costume.
I really wanted to get Bane to wear a Bigfoot costume and go fuck with these people.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask him out. I'm gonna run it past the guy and see if he's down for it. He may not be. He may. I don't know. I got to see how his sense of humor is at that point. But
if he does, take video.
Oh yeah, that's the whole thing. Well, that's the thing. I want to know if that show is still on the air because I want to know where they're filming. Like let's say if I find out they're filming in PA, I'd be like, yo, Bane, you feel like taking a road trip this weekend? We're gonna go down to, Pittsburgh and fuck with these guys.
Take video and send it to me.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, that's the thing. I'm gonna put it all over the internet. Trolling the Bigfoot people.
Trolling Finding Bigfoot.
Yeah. I should have him really fuck with them because I want to tell him, like, yo, go up to them, like, in that costume, and when they see, just like lean over and ask them if they got $3.50, like, from South Park. Like, the Loch Ness Monster kept showing up and asking Chef's parents for $3.50. Yeah. So I'm gonna tell him, just go up to the scientist and be like, yo, you got $3.50?
You got $3.50.
I'd run in front of their sensors so many times. Just strip the sensors.
Oh yeah.
Run off.
Shit, I'd stand there twerking.
Twerk in front of the camera a few times. Before they run off before they get there. Go find the farthest camera from them.
If it wasn't for the fact that they keep finding new animals every 2 or 3 years, I would have said, nah, Bigfoot can't exist. But I remember, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, these guys found new whales over by Japan, and I'm like, huh, you guys found new species of whales? These things aren't exactly small. It's not like they're toothed whales.
The ocean came out once Japan stopped whaling.
Yeah, I'm saying that these 2 species of baleen whales, each of these things is like close to 40 feet. I'm just saying, like, you have to, for a population of animals that big, to reproduce. Like, but that's my whole thing. Like, if they can find whales, and a few years ago, I think they found some other form of animal, big ass animal too, just wandering around the woods. I don't think Bigfoot's that much of a stretch, to be honest.
No, it's not. But you know, it's really easy to fuck with people.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate troll.
You can fuck with anybody with anything if they believe in it enough. I mean, you know, it's like when they used to have, they would do the Coke and Pepsi things. Like back in the day, I used to walk past like with the RC Cola like an asshole. You know,
Nice.
I mean, like I don't know. I never got into anything that severely. That's part of the reason when I used to hang around the hippies with the freaking the EPA shit and with all this stuff. That's like, you can see now how these leftists are. I remember I used to see how they were back in the day, and it was like the start of that, where they were fanatical. And I said this for years. That's part of the reason I stopped chilling around hippies. Like, no, those people are not pleasant. They're not cuddly. They're actually militant. And I've said this for years. And now it's finally come home to roost in the past few years. And like, oh, see, I was right.
I've always wanted to mess with the people who believe in Loch Ness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Get a mini sub, dress it up like the Loch Ness monster.
That would be.
Yeah.
Run tubes through it so it registers a heat signature.
I am curious to see what the hell it is that they're seeing in there, though. I really doubt it's a plesiosaur.
You can tell I've thought this through.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I actually, there's this guy, he claims that he's a wizard. I'll go with that. His name's Oberon Zell Ravenheart. He's out over in, I think, California, Washington, somewhere up on the left coast. But he postulated that the Loch Ness Monster might actually be a species of very large sea hare, or, you know, sea slug, basically. Which explains a lot. If you start to, you know, like go through it, a sea slug would actually make sense. And he does a diagram of what it looks like. This is the thing. That's fucking horrifying to think of a gastropod that big. You know? I mean, a sea slug the size of a friggin' dinosaur? My God.
Given enough time, something will grow that big if it evolves enough.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
It depends on how much food the thing's got. First.
Well, they're vegetarians, and it's Loch Ness. All that's in there is algae and vegetation. So,
And fish.
yeah, well, it doesn't eat the fish. So, like, that's the thing. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever seen what a sea hare looks like, but the reason it's called a sea hare, is because it has the eye stalks are so long they look like rabbit ears, and it actually moves by leaping. And they're these gigantic sea slugs. And when I say gigantic, I mean like it's like jackrabbit sized.
Damn.
That's the reason that they call them sea hares. You see them leaping across the ocean floor. They look like a silhouette of a jackrabbit. And yeah, they get fucking big. And like, I remember the first time I ever seen one, it was really unnerving because they show this thing leaping across the ground. I'm like, oh, okay, that's nice. And then it's up next to the diver, and you're like, oh my God, that's the size of a Saint Bernard.
Oh fuck! Are they hostile to people?
No, bro, it's a fucking sea slug. What's it gonna do to you? You can just haul off and punch the thing. But again,
anything that massive, that's the first thing I'd think is, okay, is this thing nice or is it not nice?
Well, yeah, anything that, especially if it's a giant, you know, invertebrate, you don't know if it's looking at you as if you're food, you know?
Yeah, that or if like you're crossing territory. I mean, I don't imagine slugs would eat people. It just kind of seems like odd. But, you know, I imagine if it's like, hey, those are my vegetables, you fuck off. You know, I might just try and slap you or something.
You could also punch a shark, Scoob. But that doesn't mean it's a good idea.
Yeah, you gotta hit them right in the nose. That's the trick. You got him in the nose, or if you want to kill the thing, you punch it in the gills. I've never wanted to kill them, but I'm telling you this much. I punched a few of the damn things in the nose, coming up over the damn side of the boat. No, for sure, to get the ore. Yeah.
You and I were thinking the same thing. I told that to one of my friends. He died. He fell out of his chair laughing.
Yeah, the old man was good for that, without missing a beat.
Hit it with an oar.
Yeah, I still have the ore. You got to remind me one day. I'll show it to you. I have the thing mounted up on my fence. It's like a trophy.
Oh, that's kick-ass.
Yeah, I've had it for years. I mean, I'm actually thinking about it because of how badly destroyed it is. I'm thinking I might get my hands on some varnish just to keep this thing preserved and like throw varnish on it because it's just been up on it's been there now for oh god, at least a good 15 years at this point, maybe more.
I'd put it on my wall.
You know what it is? I didn't have too many fond memories of when I used to go out crabbing with him. Nothing against my father. It was just I did not like the water. I did not like having to deal with all sorts of other shit other than crabs that are in the water. You know, the sharks are just one thing. The sharks are actually easier to get rid of than turtles. Like,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Yeah, turtles are a pain in the ass.
Yeah. And every once in a while, you get a turtle up in the boat and those things, you know, because the shark just thrashes around because it's like, holy shit, I can't breathe. That's all that the shark is thinking right now is like, it wants to get back into the water. So as long as you can get the ore out of it and make sure that the end with the teeth is away from you, you can push them back in the water, and they're usually not that bad. Turtles, on the other hand, are bastards. They like to bite at everything.
Yeah.
They're like literal old people.
Which is why I have a golf club on my boat.
I don't want to kill the
Seriously.
things. Well, you can't kill diamondback terrapins here. You wind up doing time.
No, it's a fucking sand wedge. I get it under their shell and I fucking fling it off the boat.
Oh, there you go. A couple of times, like depending who we had with him. If we had my father's best friend Roger with us, Roger was always he'd say to me, he'd be like, "Hey kid, do me a favor, put it in the bucket," because Roger would eat them.
Damn.
Yeah.
I would have said you put it in the bucket.
Nah, I was the kid on the boat. I had to do what the adults told me. That's how I was raised. But
so was I, but I wasn't stupid.
oh yeah, no. That's the thing. Like, you put the broom handle out. And once it bears down on the broom handle, you grab it by the shell and you put it in the bucket if you're gonna keep it, or you just throw it over the side if you're gonna get rid of it. But you know, it wasn't the thing that I didn't like about being in a boat with him was he had this thing set up. He knew how to do it because he was ex-Navy, but it's just it made me nervous. He had this jury rig set up with all these lights, and this boat when we were it looked like Candlestick Park on water. Like he had so many lights on this thing. And he had it hooked up to these batteries, and he had the batteries grounded out so the water wouldn't short them out. But I mean, you're sitting there on this boat and you got all these wires everywhere and lights, and there's water splashing up, and freaking the gas cans are all exposed, and it's just I was a nervous wreck on that damn boat. And he's sitting there, you know, stoic, chain smoking his cigarettes, looking out, like watching for the crabs, not even like blinking. I hated that shit.
Yeah, but that oar is a trophy. You smacked a shark with it.
Many a shark. Are you kidding me? They didn't just come in once. It got to the point by the third or fourth time they came in, it was like I didn't even yell anymore. It's like motherfucker, and I'm sitting there bashing the damn thing. Like at this point, like it's like Scooby's at war. Like I'm sitting there running up on these things.
Exactly.
With sharks, that's hysterical.
You bashed a shark with this thing. It's a trophy. You fought a war with the sharks and you won. However hilarious that war was.
All right. Guys, I hate to say this, but the wife just came out. I'm being summoned to the bedroom.
Ooh.
Uh,
Oh,
Tick a wow wow.
not for anything good. It's actually because I got to get up in a few hours and I'm being loud and I'm pissing her off.
Okay.
What day is today? Today's Thursday?
Thursday.
All
No,
right,
it's
yeah,
Friday.
so I host tomorrow. Well, technically, I guess either Tara, you, or Burnside host an IMC because I don't have my new computer yet. But yeah, all right, I gotta hop out. Yeah, I'm coming. She's scowling at me, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. I'm sorry to bail like this. I didn't expect it. She's usually asleep by now. So,
That's
All
not
right,
good.
Scoob.
all right,
Catch you
I'll talk to
tomorrow.
you guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Good night.
We'll see you then, man.
All right, bye.
All right, good night.
I'm happy I finally have my pudding on here.
Hack it up one.
Took him long enough.
He's been sick. I mean, he's even been avoiding me, which has been pissing me off.
I haven't been avoiding you. I've been fucking sick, man.
I'm jabbing at him. I haven't had as many troll opportunities today. Oh.
Yeah, I've been occupied.
Yeah, I've been occupied too. Although, after the show, I will tell y'all what I've been occupied with. Y'all will love the irony.
Did she who
Okay,
shall not be named come back?
What, Salem?
Yeah.
Nope.
Damn. I was hoping she was gonna come back crawling around on her knees.
I couldn't get that lucky.
No, because the Dark One probably would have shot her.
Oh! Wait, is that legal? Oh, wait, it's Texas. Yes, it is! Oh.
Yeah, because they get the 3 warnings at the fucking gate.
Ah, yeah.
Literally.
You're just making shit.
Yeah, all you gotta do is give them 3 warnings. They don't have to be verbal. We got no trespassing signs out the wazoo. Not even joking. There's one posted every like 5 feet along the fence line. 5 or 6 feet.
Go find a new lighter, man.
It needs more fluid. Either that or I'm not sparking it fast enough.
Sounds like you just ain't spark.
There it goes.
So yeah, I've been working on this fucking dress. So I'm staying at my aunt's house so I can work on it in the morning. I'm gonna work on it some more tonight.
How's that coming?
Well, I'm almost done. I finished the hem. Satin has been dubbed slut, and taffeta has been dubbed whore.
I want to hear this story.
Oh no, because it was a pain in the ass to work with.
Nope. That flints out.
On my personal Facebook, I did a post that said taffeta is a whore. And my brother comes up going, who?
What? Huh? Why you don't get what I mean?
Ooh,
Wait,
what?
who was this again?
Where? Why?
What, baby brother?
Who is this again?
It's a fabric called taffeta.
And I'm supposed to know that how?
Well, I sent an image, a gif of fabric waving in a fucking fan breeze. And it was taffeta fabric.
So that's what it was?
Yes.
I figured that you might have been talking about fabric the first time when you said satin is a whore.
No, that was yesterday. I put satin as a whore.
Yeah. That's why I figured, oh, you might have been talking about fabric last time.
And I was.
I'm not a seamstress. I don't know this shit.
This is
Men
depressing.
who work on clothes are called tailors.
I'm not a tailor. I don't know this shit.
Well, Burnside is.
Yep.
One reason why I love him is because he could come to me and go, "Can you mend this?" And I'll look at him and go, "You know how to sew, motherfucker. You do it." Because, Puddin', I'm telling you, we move in. I don't do mending.
And it's yours.
I shouldn't need you for too much of the men.
Or is that Burnside's job too?
Do what?
I said, you said you don't do mending. I said, unless it's yours. Or is that Burnside's job too?
Oh, that'll be Burnside's job too. I do creation.
Mending is usually the easy stuff. Like, mending is like what I'm doing with my vest, where I'm taking a piece of denim, putting it underneath there, and then sewing it in. No, that's mending because that's simple shit. Shit, if I want to do it on the cheap and easy, I just use the fabric. But I want to make it look cool because I tested Scoop's idea out, and it does look fucking awesome. It's like bullet holes. It's fucking cool shit. I'll be back in a second. I gotta go hack up.
Okay, go hack up a lung.
And then he's gonna go to the fridge.
I don't know. He really hasn't been eating much. Because his throat's sore and everything like that.
Mm.
Mm. Oh.
Then again, I can't really talk. My fridge is mostly empty most of the time.
Yeah, my aunt and uncle's fridge is hardly ever empty. It'll look empty, but that's just because, my aunt knows how to organize shit. My brother can vouch. It'll look empty, but it's full of food.
Oh,
What looks
my.
empty?
My aunt's fridge.
Yeah.
Generally, my fridge, when we go shopping at Sam's, I know how to, I guess you could say, jigsaw everything in, but at some point, it reaches the inevitable packed state, and the packed state does not last for long. Because we don't buy frozen dinners anymore. Because I can actually cook.
So someone's suing McDonald's.
Again.
Incorrect pronouns being used.
Wow.
It's Attack of Superman again.
That's as stupid as the freaking hot coffee lawsuit.
No, actually, the hot coffee one was legitimate. She nearly died from it.
So she claims.
I return.
What happened was that it was proven that McDonald's was heating their coffee too much to the point that it was almost at the point of boiling.
Okay,
and the car wasn't moving.
Something? According to the health departments, food and safety in different states, you are supposed to have it hotter than what it's supposed to be, so that it stays hot for when you serve it to a customer.
But then the court said that was too hot.
They didn't follow
Court's a whiny
food
little
and
bitch.
safety.
And also,
food and safety says it has to be at the accurate temperature or higher.
But anyways, not only was she not driving the car, she wasn't even in the driver's seat. And it doesn't change the fact that she nearly died from it and that she was left horribly scarred. And McDonald's only said they would only cover about maybe I think a few hundred of her medical bill.
Okay, don't take your fat ass to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Simple
Don't get
solution
coffee
right
from
there.
McDonald's. Just make it at home.
Exactly. Make it a fucking home, you bitch.
It's a hell of a lot better of an option.
Exactly. And it's probably going to be a hell of a lot better coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Frankly, I can't stand McDonald's coffee.
Pudding's gonna make me pumpkin spice latte, aren't you?
Yeah. I just gotta make sure I kill enough communists so that they can make it the right way. That's apparently the only way they learn.
Yeah. He's gonna beat the hell out at Starbucks.
Get what you want, you get what I want. I want less communists. You want the perfect Soviet pumpkin spice. Huh? Sure,
Yes,
these fuckers can definitely do that.
Or you could make me a raspberry mocha latte.
Not necessarily sure how to do that one.
Well,
I'd probably just use the same point.
Listen, first you go and find a beaver and milk its taint.
Fuck.
That's where they get artificial raspberry flavor, is from beaver taint.
No. We'll get the real fucking deal, not that artificial fucking beaver masturbatory bullshit.
You know, now I want to see him go and try and get that.
Hell.
Every time I bring up raspberry mocha latte, that's all fucking mechanic's gonna see is Burnside going and hunting down a beaver.
No, I'm going to see him getting attacked by a family of beavers while he tries to get that. Them gnawing off his ass. Oh, I would love to see that. I would pay to see that.
You want to see Puddin' get hurt? You're so cruel.
And anyone who tells you different is lying.
Good point.
Hey, I'm the person who will get in front of some asshole and brake check them at 90 miles an hour. Just because they cut me off.
Well, they deserve that. Puddin' doesn't exactly deserve to be attacked by beavers.
Yes, he does. He's a
They tried probably fucking to kill him.
Yeah, see, he knows enough about self-defense to either run or fling them, which would make it all the more hilarious for me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'd initially first try to shoot and or stab them, but if I can get a grip on them, fuck yeah, I'm throwing the goddamn beavers. I'm throwing the beavers to the wolves.
Oh, I would remove all weapons beforehand.
Oh, you're a dick.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Okay, that one I would find funny.
See, you're just as cruel as me.
Yes, I can be.
Can be, you are. Quit lying to yourself.
No, it's can be. No, you're right. I have a heart of ice.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why we love you. And that's why we all love you.
Not my sister so much. She doesn't love the fact I have a heart of ice.
your sister can bite me.
Well, my sister's also a Bible thumper.
Yeah, she's annoying.
Yeah, your sister can bite me.
I'm only all for.
What? You broke up. You're using that fucking headset again.
Well, I don't have much else of choice.
Sure you do. It's called unplug them from the laptop and just go do it that way. That's what I've been doing.
I was saying I'm usually all for things biblical, but when you go fanatical, it's like, yeah, how about Rome was meant to be destroyed. It cannot rule the world.
Rome was meant to be burned to the
Damn right.
ground.
Damn right.
Yeehaw. Oh no, wait, it's yippee-ki-yay.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Don't forget to add the motherfucker at.
No, that's only when you have a German national fucking holding me hostage in a giant fucking skyscraper.
And nowadays, that German national will probably be screaming Allahu rape bar.
And you know what? I would scare them with how kinky I am.
The fucked up thing is that might actually work.
They'd be Allahu. Fuck no. Oh, you wanna whip me with that chain? Oh, here. Let me stick this phone in your ass. Oh, my hip. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, it's about 10 minutes till.
That reminds me of a rather colorful Sticks and Stones.
Yeah, sticks and stones may break my bones, but whips and chains excite me.
Yep, there you go.
Yep, I've said that to some guys when they've literally like raised their hand to hit me. And then I look at them and I tell them, you better make sure you hit me hard enough you kill me. My ex-husband learned when he kept yelling at me, hit me, hit me, hit me. So I did an uppercut on him. It's like, you hit like a bitch. I just walked away. 5 minutes later, I get a text from him. I think you cracked my tooth. I don't hit like a bitch no more, do I?
I think you cracked my tooth.
I knew I had because I felt it.
Oh, I love that. I think you cracked my tooth.
He didn't respond to the whole, I don't hit like a bitch now, do I? Because, well, I proved that I don't hit like a bitch. Thing is, you guys are going to find this fucking funny and I hate you. I had to jump to hit him.
You know, that probably made the initial contact all the worse. Because you were hitting him with an uppercut.
Yep.
Hadouken!
It's all I could do.
Finish him.
Fatality.
Not quite.
Balls. Try again. Ha ha ha. Faggot.
Not quite fatality, but I'm surprised you didn't kick him in the or punch him in the nuts and then hit him.
No, he was blocking his nuts.
Okay, fine. Kick him in the shin.
No, one day I kicked him in his knee, the one that took him out of football because he got tackled and he spun one way, his knee stayed in place.
Ha! Ow.
Yeah, that works too.
That shit.
So yeah, I took out his knee one night. I'm not joking when I tell people him and I literally got physical when it came to fighting. And it usually started with him yelling at me to hit him, and I would, and then he turned into a little bitch and called the cops one day. That's because my hits made contact and hurt him. He bruised, I didn't. He didn't like that shit.
I find that absolutely hilarious. He called the cops on you.
Yep. I even told him, he yells at me to hit him. So I do. Well, you're not supposed to do that, ma'am. When he's sitting there yelling at me for like 20 minutes to hit him to prove that, I know how to hit, or that I'm not just some little bitch, yeah, I'm going to end up hitting him. And I looked at the cop, I said, it's called verbal provocation. It's completely legal self-defense. He just looked at me and he's like, we still have to take you in. I was like, okay.
Have my lawyer meet us there.
Yeah, I called my dad and had him call my aunt and uncle. And I let them know, okay, I'm going to call you tomorrow for a ride home from the jail. Don't bail me out because I'll get out on ROR. Which I did. But I wasn't the only one that went to jail that day. I made sure his bitch ass went to jail too.
Good.
Well, he was on probation.
Oh, what a moron. What a fucking moron.
And I had told him, because he's like, I'm going to call the cops. I'm like, go ahead. But you're the one violating your probation. Also, watching porn on my laptop. My ex-husband's a registered sexual predator.
Ah.
And one of the stipulations was he's not allowed to watch any sort of porn. And he would watch porn on my laptop because they could search his, but not mine. Anytime they wanted to. I made it very clear that to search my stuff from then after the first time, that they had to have a warrant. That my stuff was off limits.
Yeah, I would have a problem with them searching my stuff too. I would have a problem with that too.
Well, one of the times when I'd only been there like living with him for like 3 months at the time, and they decided they were going to do one of those random searches. And I didn't know my stuff was subject to search and seizure. So when he got out and got the same probation officer, I looked at the probation officer and I was like, my stuff is no longer subject to search and seizure. He goes, well, ma'am, yes it is. I was like, no, it's not. I've already looked it up. You have to have a warrant to look at my shit now. And I had it filed with the court.
Oh, I bet that went over well with him.
They were not happy.
Oh, I bet it was worth it though.
Kept them out of my shit, yeah.
Oh, I meant just for the pure fact of seeing the look on their faces.
Oh yeah, they were fucking pissed. Because they're like, you have to look here, and then they see that, you know, in his record it said my stuff was no longer subject to search and seizure.
Oh, makes their job a whole lot harder.
Yep. Because they used my stuff to violate him the first time. Now the second time, he didn't believe me that I would fuck his world up. He called the cops on me and I fucked his world up.
His mistake. But then again, he's a moron, so.
Mm-hmm.
And people like him usually are.
All right, baby brother. You might want to start asking people to chill.
Okay. Tara?
I'm Terracin. You can find me on pretty much any social media except for Facebook. It's under Ambrosia Locke with an E. I don't know if my brother has a copy of the description that me, Burnside, and Scooby use. But if you go to my channel and in any of my videos, there is a link to a GoFundMe for my friend Ben. He was injured in a motorcycle accident. He's doing a hell of a lot better. But, bills last for years. He still needs help paying his bills. And I'm trying to get to Washington, D.C. in September, so click on my PayPal and send me some cash so I can go. And I've still got videos to work on, so I'll eventually get them done. Probably not until after Pat comes to visit. Yes, your boy Pat is coming to visit. All right, that's it.
Mechanic?
Nothing.
I got nothing too.
Puddin'.
Oh, he's still here?
As far as I know.
I think
Is
he
he
muted
muted?
himself.
I think he's hacking up a lung. Or in the fridge.
Two good guesses.
Or in Fallout?
No. They're kind of pissed at that game right now.
Oh, he is? What for?
Bethesda sucks.
Yeah, Bethesda is a pain in the ass.
Well, yeah, but he seemed to be into that game when the hate for that game was at its highest. That's for that Baggate.
Something happened while he was playing or some shit. I don't know.
The game probably corrupted.
Another update?
I have no clue.
Damn it. Flint's out.
Oh, going off alive.